back to the daily grind. Make sure to thumbs up and subscribe, because you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Fabricio Werdum has had enough of this USADA jazz. I'm playing, but he is speaking out against USADA. He said the UFC's drug test is too strict. And man, this is a very controversial and interesting topic. I on every time we come across this topic, I look forward to the comments, because I don't know, with the new UFC owners and the entertainment era, I don't know if USADA is a good thing for the UFC. But let's get into what Fabricio Werdum had to say first. I think this testing is too much. It's too strict. It didn't have to be that much. It's one thing to take something to recover faster. I'm not saying steroids, no. What I say is that USADA is too much sometimes. It's too much. It didn't need that much. The testing is stricter than the Olympics. I've never seen this before. I think it could be better. There are things you could take that wouldn't affect your performance, but you would recover faster. We train too hard. And Werdum's currently scheduled to fight fellow heavyweight Derek Lewis, Swang and Bang, at UFC 216 on October 7th. So, now, Fabricio, to my knowledge, had never had a USADA violation in the UFC. He has been accused of, looking worse, his body looking worse since USADA, by fellow UFC fighter Luke Rockhold, who said, "I'll make you look worse than USADA did." And there's pictures, like whenever I was just researching this video, there's pictures of Fabricio 2014 versus 2017. So it is interesting that he's coming out and saying USADA's too strict, but at the same time, I'm not going to be worse than to say that, he's looking different from USADA or whatever, because, he's never tested positive. So you got to be careful with, who you call a cheater. Now, I will say, though, I agree with Fabricio here, man. And not even just the entertainment thing. Now, USADA, boy, that you can't fucking take, man. You with USADA, you got to be scared to eat fucking chicken breast, dude. You're like, oh shit, did this chicken eat a fucking hormone that's on the USADA ban list? Did this chicken fucking get us in a, I don't understand, man. That shit's got to be fucking paranoia. It's got to be hard to eat with USADA in the motherfucking building. Holy shit, I'm surprised more fighters don't get popped by USADA from all the shit that's banned. But I agree with Fabricio in the fact that he says maybe you should be able to use something to recover quicker. I'm not saying steroids. I'm not saying performance-enhancing drugs. I'm not saying motherfucking anabolic steroids. None of that shit. None of that tetrazole. None of that shit Chael Sonnen be on. John Jones was on. None of that. I'm just talking about shit to let you recover quicker. Now, I don't know exactly what he's talking about, whether it just be TRT or what, but I do know TRT gets prescribed by doctors, therefore it doesn't seem like a performance-enhancing drug as much as a motherfucking medical procedure. Now, I don't know if he's specifically talking about TRT, but I will say I do believe athletes, if there's something that helps you recover quicker, a MMA athlete should be able to use, for the simple fact they do train harder than literally every fucking other sport, every other anything, boxing, basketball, football, fucking anything, water fucking polo, it doesn't matter, anything you can think of. They don't train as hard as MMA fighters who have to train multiple disciplines for fucking ever. They have to fucking train wrestling, and they gotta start at a fucking young age if they want to be anything. You gotta start wrestling with the mindset of transitioning to MMA, with doing some Golden Gloves boxing type shit as a kid, to where you get as an adult, and then you gotta still fucking train boxing, jiu-jitsu, and wrestling every fucking day. It's not like you just do boxing today, motherfucking, and sparring, and then you get 2 days off, and then some more boxing and boxing and boxing, or what the fuck ever. These people have to train more disciplines, more aspects than any other combat sport, and it's more damaging than any other sport, period. Motherfucking, whether you're full contact sparring or you're just getting slammed on your motherfucking head in wrestling, practice, it doesn't matter. You fucking have to work out, strength and conditioning on top of all of this other physical training. So your fucking body's taking a beating, man. So why not just be able to recover quicker? We're not talking about anything that makes you stronger or react faster. We're just talking about after motherfucking training all day, training all week, especially for a fight camp, man, can we just recover a little quicker? You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with that. And now let's go into the entertainment factor. When you have USADA that's this strict, you're losing fighters left and right. You're losing potential super fights left and right. We don't get Frank Mir versus Brock Lesnar 3, because of USADA. We don't get John Jones versus Brock Lesnar because of USADA. We don't get John Jones versus Gustafsson 2 because of USADA. We don't get a lot of fucking fights because of USADA. We don't get some of these legends coming out of retirement. Fucking Chael Sonnen, you know, the Frank Mirs, the Chuck Liddells of the world. They gotta go fight in Bellator because they have less strict. I might get. I mean, that's not a fact, but because they don't have fucking USADA over there, they can at least take something to recover quicker. So a lot of these fighters that are leaving their prime, that would help the UFC save their stars for a little bit longer. The more known fighters would get to stay around a little bit longer. Now, if you're talking about just from a pure standpoint, yes, USADA should be this strict because you don't want to see anybody cheating at all. You know, you want it to be a level playing field. But if you're going from a pure standpoint, then you're not going to have people like Dan Henderson skipping all of the contenders for title fights. You're not going to have people like GSP, who's never fought at 185, skipping the line for title fights. You're not going to have people like Nate Diaz fighting Conor McGregor when he comes back instead of the interim title holder. You know, if you're going to make fights for the most money, for the biggest fights, for the super fights, then it seems like USADA goes against that. So it seems like you either have to be for entertainment and against USADA, or if you just want it to be a clean sport, that goes away from entertainment a little bit. That means you should probably always have the number one. TJ Dillashaw should never get fucking skipped if USADA's around because you want to keep the clean sport. Well, why not reward the top contenders, you know, if you're being a purist? And if you're going to skip the top contenders like TJ Dillashaw, then you might as well fucking take USADA out and still have steroid testing, but you don't need it to be as strict. And with being said, man, I got one more video to do, and then I'm gonna motherfucking go set up Twitch and all that shit. So it is what it is, man. Let the haters know what the fuck you think about Fabricio Werdum speaking out against USADA. Do you think USADA's too strict? Do you think the UFC's drug tests are too strict? Should they lighten up a little bit? You know, just not on steroids, just on shit like that helps you recover faster. This will be interesting. Let the haters know what the fuck you type at in the comments, dude. How do you stop a bull from charging? Cancel its credit card.